What does it mean to you to represent the United States Virgin Islands?
I'm very passionate about representing my home. It means a lot because we are often misunderstood. We are a small territory of 3 islands that are very powerful. And even though we're small, we have a huge impact. There's so many people who come from the Virgin Islands who are so talented in the sports world, in the entertainment world, in the pageant world. And having the opportunity to represent, whether it be through film, through a pageant, through modeling, anytime I get the opportunity, I'm very excited because we deserve to be represented well, and for people to know that we're a melting pot and all different types of people come from the Virgin Islands.
When did you first start participating in carnival festivities, and how did your family assist?
I feel like I've almost always been participating in some way or another. I would say I've never missed a carnival. I would go with my parents and watch, but the first time I was actually in the parade, I was attending Joseph Sibley Elementary School. I remember bringing the paper home to my parents and being like, I want to do this, I want to be in carnival, I'm finally old enough. And I was 6 years old, I believe I was in 2nd grade. We went every Saturday to school, we did dance practice. We would do after school ended, we would have practice in the big courtyard there. My dad helped with the float, he helped with the speakers, my mom would be gluing the gemstones on the costumes. And so this is one memory for me that's very fun, and I think it's just pushed me to keep going. I had my mom on one side of the road and my dad as we were trotting down, and it's just something very special in my family.
And when did you first get involved in modeling and film?
I would have to say I was about 9 when I really took an interest in modeling, taking pictures all the time. And then I started to get my first laptop when I was about 11 or 12. And I could look up different things. And I would say it was social media. I would reach out to some island inspirations of mine. And it got to a point where they're like, come along. And I would get to be in music videos, or I would get to be in commercials or be an extra. And then from there, people just started meeting me, calling me, telling me they'd like me to join their agency. So I got really lucky doing it in my island home. And then I even started traveling to other islands to do modeling, like the BVI and other US Virgin Islands.
In the recent Miss Universe USVI, you advocated certain issues, such as mental health and other important matters. What are some of your personal challenges you had to face?
I would. So initially, I had chose something like body positivity. I have done a lot of carnivals, and I have friends of all shapes and sizes who are all beautiful. I myself have had all shapes and sizes as I've grown, having a baby, going through pregnancy. And then I thought about it, and I was like, it's the pressure of society that really makes us feel this way. And more things were happening in our community, and I just was like, I have to take a moment and really switch gears here. And I went towards mental health, and I'm so glad that I did. The truth is, mental health is one of the biggest things affecting not only the territory right now, but also the world. And there's no small scope. You have things like depression, PTSD with people who've been in the military. And even just the pandemic alone is showing since then so many signs of depression, people struggling with inflation and the economy. So it's a conversation that has started, but it needs to be continued to be heard and to be studied so that people aren't afraid to talk about it, the stigma goes away, and together we can find the healing that we all need. If I had to say one thing that I have constantly faced, it's dealing with the emotions of not burning out. I have always thrown myself into one thing after the next. I've been a yes person for so long in my life, and sometimes it's just as simple saying, that's okay, I can sit this one out. Don't have the FOMO, don't have the fear of missing out. And it's been hard for me, but it's a lesson I think I've learned just truly full form this year, that that's okay, I'm not missing out on this one. I'm okay with that.
With the Miss Universe 2024 USVI pageant being completed, what are your short and long-term goals? What are some words of advice you would like to give young, aspirating delegates in beauty pageants?
A couple years back during the pandemic, I started a YouTube channel, and I had a segment on the YouTube channel called The Warrior Movement, and it promoted people to talk about hardships that they went through. Now that I see the need and I understand more myself about mental health awareness, it's something that I do want to continue, and I want to bring on different people. And I'd even like to do it on a podcast, maybe not just film alone. I do think there's an arena for it here in the Virgin Islands. There's a stigma. There was something that really shook me when I had decided to run for the pageant. And there was a mother who had drowned her little girl, and I can't imagine going through those thoughts as a mother to bring a child into this world and then want to be the person to bring them out. So what are the signs? What are the ways that we could have avoided it? And I believe if we talk and people feel like they can talk in the community, that they're not alone, maybe these are things that can be avoided, and we can see the signs much earlier on, and to be our brother and sister's keeper.
How has the Miss Universe USVI pageant competition helped you to grow and wanting to assist your community?
I had the privilege of running with an amazing group of girls. Can't say anybody was catty or mean. Definitely all nervous, but I fell more in love with myself as a person. I had a lot of shyness going into this, and everyone was surprised because they're like, Meagan, you're involved in so many things in the community already. But the truth was, it was outside of my comfort zone. I'm used to being fierce and, doing different looks and maybe say hiding behind a mask. But when you do a pageant, you are your true self. You're your hair color, you're your eyes, you're your lashes, you're you, and that's really brought to the forefront. And so it made me comfortable in my own skin, and to realize that in so many projects that come up, I came up with ideas and that my voice too mattered. And in doing that, it empowered me to do more things in my community going forward.
With social media, such as TikTok, YouTube and Facebook, how do you plan to use social media to continue your good work and spread positivity?
Truth is, there is so much information out there. You can ask any question and you will find something to justify if you want this answer or if you want that answer. It is important for me and my brand and myself, being the island sweetheart, to always push positivity, to push fun, to push freedom, and to push that it's okay to be open and to talk about the hard things. In our community, it's often taboo. They need to keep their business private, and sometimes it's just speaking out that you needed to do. You just needed to be heard. And so I'm going to continue to push positivity, kindness, and to allow people to know that I'm here, I'm an open space, and I'm always willing to talk and share. And by doing so, all these platforms that we have today, you never know who's watching, who's listening, and who you might connect with, and whose life you could save in the process just by saying how you yourself got through something hard.
Describe your various experiences and involvement in various carnivals in the USVI and abroad.
I grew up here in the Virgin Islands, so I've been doing carnival since I was little, and doing it as an adult is a little bit different, but we are known for doing a dance routine. We are known for putting in the work ourselves, putting, like I said earlier, the rhinestones on our costumes, bringing other people into the fete, into the mass, and getting everyone to come together. That's really unity in its purest form. As I traveled, it's a little bit different. I think I love the small island vibe that we have. I would say that here we focus on the things like the dance, the food, the culture. There it seems a little bit more in different places I've traveled. Some are more about the business aspects, some are more about the music, but no matter where I go, it's always about bringing people together, and truly at the end of the day, that is the most important.
Your thoughts concerning USVI Carnivals.com assisting and promoting USVI Carnival festivities on the 3 Virgin Islands.
is very exciting. I think we're about to see a new wave of growth for the territory and for the USVI. I think we are quickly growing to be one of the best carnivals, if I say so myself, in the Caribbean. Every year, we're great to pick out the flaws, but in doing so, we realize how to make it better. And just in the last couple of years, I've seen a lot. I attend St. Croix, St. Thomas, and St. John Carnival almost every year. Last year in St. Croix, I got to be on the car as one of the running pageant queens as Miss Agnes Fancy. And I've also been on the truck, I've worked the trucks, I've been a masquerader, I've been a section leader, I've been an ambassador, I've repped boots, I've repped everything. And so many people are reaching out to me on my Instagram, reaching out to me on my Facebook, and when I travel and they know who we are, they are so eager to come to the VI and to work with the VI. And with the publication and the website, we are just so close to where we really need to be and making us legendary.
Tell us more about the Agnes Fancy community in St. Thomas, which you lived and represented at the Miss Universe USVI competition.
This year, the pageant did something a little different. It's a trend I've been starting to see, and I really do like it. We didn't do the traditional contestant number 1, contestant number 2 until much later. So while we were running, we got to represent our communities, and that motivates the community to also come behind you as well. So Agnes Fancy is located on St. Thomas, and to go a little deeper into the history, there is Anna's Fancy and there's Agnes Fancy, and they were 2 sisters, and the land was separated. And so Agnes Fancy is quite big. If you know St. Thomas, it's kind of coming up from a little bit lower than Sibs and Moffley, and it goes all the way down that right side of the hill coming into town. It's beautiful. There's a beautiful view over there. And so my family has a little bit of that land, and I live on top of one of the mountains there. We've sold off many pieces of it, but I still have my immediate family in close proximity. So it was really good not just to run for the Virgin Islands, but to actually represent my land, my community, and my family as well.
Being born in St. Thomas, USVI, what was your early life living on island? Also, tell us about your Sland Carnival experience in 2024 and what keeps you looking so healthy and fit.
I was really gifted to have the opportunity to go back and forth a little bit in my upbringing. My mom got sick when I was quite young, so I did a little bit of schooling here, then had to go to the States, then I got to come back, and it kind of went on so and so because, she had to go to certain doctors, take tests, things like this. There's nothing like an upbringing on the island. The boating, the camping, these are things that people in certain parts of the world haven't experienced, and they save up their whole life to come here just to have it for a weekend. And when you do it as a child, something for me that's like a close memory is my dad and me scaling fish. You get to catch the fish and eat it right there. You get to go catch the lobster, go boating. It's a whole adventure in one day, and it's something that sometimes we get caught up ourselves, we overlook, but I encourage everybody just to sometimes take a walk outside and realize how gifted we are to live in such a beautiful place.
And in what other countries or mainland United States have you participated in carnival festivities?
I was really lucky to have the opportunity this year. I've been an ambassador for other cities, for other brands like Carnival Kicks. I've been an ambassador for Orlando Carnival. I've represented On Road Ready for the US Virgin Islands. This year in my home, I got to represent Prodigy Mass, and I was an ambassador for them. It was really fun. We had people come from all over. A lot of people flew in to be part of Prodigy, and some of them I never got to meet. They knew who I was. They were looking for me on the road. Can you help me with this? And they just felt comfortable. And it's great because that's already who I am as a person. So for that role to fall in my lap and to be able to do that and help people, it really made my carnival more enjoyable.
What keeps you looking so healthy and fit?
Say that I don't pay too careful attention to what I eat. For the most part, naturally, I love healthier things. I'm a fruit person, I'm a salad person. But don't get me wrong, when I go Carnival Village, I'm up there getting flying fish and pate and baked mac and cheese, all the good things. But working out, it's not just good for me physically, it's also a big part of my mental health regimen. I do work out with a fitness trainer 2 to 3 times a week. And when I'm not doing that, I like to focus a lot on dancing. I dance a lot at home. And if I can kick in some dancing with my friends, my daughter goes to a dance academy. We actually just did some classes. I do that as well. And when I'm not doing that, we like to walk. We walk the waterfront, we walk the beaches, Paradise Point Hill. So as long as we could stay active, there's no strict routine. It's just have fun with it. And if we get some rock climbing in there, that's great too, because it's all part of it.
Tell us about the Road Ready television show.
Road Ready is the first ever carnival travel reality show. It gives viewers an inside look on what it's like to get ready in a house. There were 6, 7 of us on different seasons who lived together. We went to different parties and fetes together. So you see us through all the carnival shenanigans, Juve picking up our costumes. There were some twists and turns in the show, and we do travel to different places. From the show, I got to meet many different people, network. I did things like Uber Soca Cruise. I did Carnival in Trinidad. I did Carnival in Orlando, Atlanta, St. John, St. Croix, St. Thomas, Miami. And I've met so many people who love Carnival just like me, and representing St. Thomas, St. John, St. Croix was really magical because it actually got a lot of people to come back here to our island.
Tell us how it felt creating pageant history in the Virgin Islands by being the first mother and your beautiful daughter, both participating in the 2024 Miss Universe.
This was the first year that the Miss Universe organization opened up to mothers and to other ages. So originally I would have been past the age limit. I was about 28 when we first started having the conversations. And before that, I was waiting for Liliana just to get a little bit older to put her in maybe one of the carnival pageants. And I got asked to be part of Miss USVI and what later became Miss Universe US Virgin Islands. The opportunity came up where they were recruiting for little girls to run as well. Liliana really wanted to run with mommy, and so in doing so, we became the first ever mother-daughter duo under the Miss USVI name and under the Miss Universe organization. So that's something, no matter where we go, we're always going to have that experience with each other, getting fitted for our dresses, learning ourselves better, but also learning each other better, and just seeing, how we both are when we're nervous, when we're excited, being around people, and now people really do look at us as that mother-daughter duo represent. I'm Meagan Bryan, Miss Universe Community, US Virgin Islands, and I am so happy to be part of the first inaugural Carnival Caribbean magazine, and you can find it at usvicarnivals.com. You don't want to miss this first publication, covering the 3 amazing US Virgin Islands, the delicious food, and a true experience of Caribbean culture with the best music, the most tasty food, and loveliest people. You want to come to the US Virgin Islands. You have 3 times a year where you can come to St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix to celebrate with us in our festivities, to enjoy the Carnival Village, to enjoy our beautiful, colorful parade, and all the things that come with it. Come down to the Virgin Islands. You do not need a passport if you live in the United States, and if you do, it is worth making your trip. You can see all the beautiful beaches, the white sand, and the turquoise blue waters. We hope to see you soon.